Here's Andre Mesker. We've got the Dave Schultz Memorial coming up, and you had the opportunity to work out and train with Dave quite a bit back in the day. And what's it going to be like for you to actually compete in a tournament that's named after him and in his memory?
It's really cool because Dave was an awesome individual. He was not just an ambassador of the sport, but he loved this sport like unreal. I mean, we worked out together so many times, and we had so many techniques that we tried to develop, and also to try to continue to sculpture some of the technique that we learned from overseas and Americans. But it's awesome. I mean, he was awesome. He was one of my greatest friends. His wife is one of my greatest friends. I loved them both, and so it's cool.
Ace Pammy, getting ready for the Dave Schultz competition this weekend. Tournament's named after the late Dave Schultz. For you as a younger guy, what's it mean to be able to compete in a tournament that's named after a guy that's got such an impact on wrestling?
I mean, I think it's always an honor when you honor those who have gone before you and have done great things in the sport like Dave Schultz did, and really was just not only a great athlete, great wrestler, but a great role model overall, and was just a great guy from what I've heard. I didn't know him personally, but from what people have said, I mean, it's pretty amazing some of the stuff he's done, and it's always an honor to be able to.
I have a lot of fond memories of Dave as a competitor. He was a ferocious competitor. I was never able to have a wrestler that could compete with him. He was an ambassador for America. He did a lot more for wrestling than any one individual that I can think of. He learned how to speak Russian so that he could develop his technique. He was an innovator and just a terrific friend and father. I love Dave like a brother.
Here with Tommy Rowlands, the Olympic Training Center, getting prepped for the Dave Schultz Memorial International, and being one of the generations that came up kind of after Schultz's passing, what's it like to know the legacy and try to wrestle in an event named after Dave Schultz and try to preserve his honor and legacy of the sport of wrestling?
It's amazing. I mean, I was 15 years old when Dave was shot and killed, and obviously I never got to meet him or anything like that, but I've been around so many people that are very close with him and share some great stories about him, and clearly his record on the mat speaks for itself, but more than anything, he's just a tremendous ambassador for the sport of wrestling on the planet. And so to be able to compete in a tournament named after him and help continue his legacy and compete in his honor is an honor. So I'm excited about it.
He was awesome. You know, everybody knows he was, people call him the people's champ, and he had an exciting style that was fun to watch. He was charismatic, and he was great. He was a great ambassador for our sport and a great human being.
What about memories you have of him watching at certain events and whatnot?
Everybody always talks about Dave's charisma, and he was kind of real happy-go-lucky, kind of a prankster. And I got one story that I saw him do a couple clinics and stuff, and he was always really fun and teaching little tricks and things and being humorous. But my family, we drove down to the '84 Olympics and watched him wrestle. And after he won the gold that night, it was kind of a big deal. His front headlock, nasty front headlock, choking everybody out. He had the East German in the finals, and the guy kept faking that he was getting choked, and it was a big ordeal. It was pretty cool, as I was 11 years old watching the whole deal. So after the event, everybody's getting shuffled out of the building, and there's a big line, and Dave Schultz is standing on the arena floor signing autographs, and everybody's in the balcony holding their program or piece of paper or whatever through the railing. And I was the last guy in line, and there was some guy in front of me, and a security guard comes up and was like, "Hey, that's it, everybody's done, you're out of here." And Schultz takes the last guy's program, and the security guard's going to kick me out of the building. And Schultz just was like, "Hey man, you're kind of making life tough for everybody, just let me sign the program." So I got a big old smile on my chest and handed him my program, and he signed it. And so anyways, years later when I was in college, I was training partner with the Brands and got to be around Schultz a little bit and work out with him, and I reminded him of that story. He didn't remember, but I don't know, it was a cool thing. It had an impact on me. He was a hero, so I think it's great that we honor him in this way with this tournament, and it's a great competition, and I'm looking forward to it.
I remember most about Dave Schultz is that he was an ambassador for wrestling. Whenever you went overseas, guys would ask, did you know Dave Schultz? Or, you always saw him, you knew that he knew how to speak Russian, you knew that the Russians respected him. So, that carries a lot of respect, especially with a lot of the American wrestlers. So, just being able to be in the same presence as he was, because I've been wrestling a long time, it was always an honor.
In terms of the competition at the Dave Schultz tournament, you've wrestled in it countless times. What does the tournament represent in his name, and how tough it is here in Colorado Springs?
Well, the fact that you're able to get a foreign competition in the United States is a big deal. But his legacy itself, the fact that you're able to get tough competition, it's a tough tournament in all three styles. I think it just sort of sums up what Dave Schultz was about, and he was a tough dude.
So what can fans expect to see this weekend at the Schultz?
I think they can expect to see a lot of exciting wrestling. Like I said, in all three styles, you got people coming here that have participated in past Olympic Games, former world champs. This is sort of the tournament where people show up to see where they're at. It's sort of the pre-tournament for the big tournament coming up in late July and early August, and that's the Games.